So we are not even close to the 2020 presidential elections, and the Democratic Party looks like it's in shambles, eating itself over insane issues. And now the latest controversy, I mean, Jason, let's just play this video, because this is the latest controversy right now with presidential candidate John Hickenlooper, the former governor of Colorado that I confronted. We're going to be talking about that in a little bit. But right now, I'm watching CNN, MSNBC. They are in an uproar because of these comments. Let's play these fiery, spicy comments that people on the mainstream media are freaking out about.
Governor, some of your male competitors have vowed to put a woman on the ticket. Yes or no? Would you do the same?
Well, again, of course. But I think that we should be, well, I'll ask you another question. How come we aren't
asking the question?
I know. I know. But how come we're not asking more often the women, would you be willing to put a man on the ticket?
When we get to that point, I'll ask you that question.
That's a non-issue, huh? I mean,
this is the issue. This is the number one thing that people are up in a war about. Not war, not poverty, not banksters, not corporate welfare, not their legitimate issues. It's this douche pretending to be a man of the people, Hickenlooper, who's a Bilderberger, by the way, saying just some stupid things that absolutely make no sense. Again, going into identity politics, trying to divide people against men and women. And how dare this guy suggest that a woman should have a man on his thing? Because again, it doesn't go along with their kind of larger agenda that they're trying to push on a lot of people. That's why it's fascinating. It's so fascinating to see this destruction of our political discourse. We have this article by Huffington Post highlighting the hot new thing in the Democratic Party: white men. Talk about how horrible it is that Bernie Sanders, Beto O'Rourke, Joe Biden are pretty much some of the headliners now. Now, again, Bernie has lost a lot of respect, a lot of steam for bowing down to Hillary Clinton after she screwed him over. Biden's going to have a whole bunch of problems, especially with the accusations of going against him with the Me Too movement. O'Rourke, that's a whole nother crazy person in itself. But Jason, to me, this is not an issue. This shouldn't be an issue. And we're seeing Democratic candidates apologize, like O'Rourke, for being a white man. We're seeing Beto, we're seeing Biden, we're seeing Cory Booker all saying, hey guys, we promise we're going to have a female candidate. Well, this is just stupid, because Jason, shouldn't we be judging people on their merit, on their skills, on the issues that actually matter, instead of this race baiting politics? And again, race baiting and also sex baiting politics, because again, when it comes to actual women of color who are doing something great, they by and large are being ignored. Cynthia McKinney, an African-American woman, largely ignored in the presidential elections before. Tulsi Gabbard, I'm not seeing a lot of coverage about her, a woman of color. No, let's not talk about her, because again, she doesn't go along with this bigger agenda that they're trying to push on you. That's my take on it. What do you think, Jason?
Well, I think I'm glad you mentioned Tulsi Gabbard, for instance. I think Tulsi Gabbard is going to find somebody based on their credentials. She's not going to try to play identity politics, but let's get there, really. First of all, just like you said, shouldn't we be looking at the qualifications of people? And then I want to think to myself, how about the content of somebody's character, regardless if they are a woman or a man? Because like you said, Cynthia McKinney, Tulsi Gabbard, they are out there. There are good people in politics that do deserve to run for the president of the United States, especially against these monsters. But what have we seen? This is just another example of the establishment trying to force feed us their candidate, their narrative, as this guy was basically tapped. We have the video. I mean, Luke, you confronted the guy. You're inches away from him. Hey, it's weird. You're over at the Bilderberg group this year, and then all of a sudden there are articles like this one all about you. Hickenlooper's joke. Hickenlooper offers something different in a crowd that's he's detailing his sexual history with women. His conquest.
Yeah. Jason, you're bringing up an important point here. Look at the articles here. The reactions from the CNN thing. First of all, everyone's like, rest in peace, Hickenlooper's campaign. It's over for Hickenlooper. People are freaking out. The next thing, talking about Hickenlooper and his book where he detailed his history of sexual conquest, or Hickenlooper bringing his mom to a theater that was playing pornographic movies. Like why is that the issue? Why are these the talking points? Why is that something that we have to talk about in the national discourse? When will someone in the mainstream media actually do their research? I mean, they looked in his book and found an awkward moment that he had with his mom in a theater, seeing a movie that they thought was something else, and it was a pornographic movie. They researched, read all of his book. They looked into so much details about him. They found that little thing to bring up on the national stage. What about Bilderberg? This son of a gun, Hickenlooper, went to the, again, 2018 Bilderberg meetings in Turin, Italy, where I was there, where journalists were being arrested, detained, harassed for reporting on, as the mainstream media was ignoring it, as the top celebrities, sorry. If it was the top celebrities, the mainstream media would be all over it. As the top bankers, as the top scholars, as the top corporate heads, as the top government heads, intelligence agency heads meet in secret once a year to pretty much discuss world politics. And there's a lot of collusion. There's a lot of interplaying. There's a lot of people washing the other hand, as Goldman Sachs is there and Google's there. Large institutions, of course, that have prominently presented people who were people like Bill Clinton, people like Barack Obama, people like Tony Blair, who went to those meetings right before becoming prime ministers and presidents of their respected countries. That's not talked about. That's not even a question that CNN would entertain, which shows you not only how broken the media industry is, but how it's driving you towards distractions, towards men and women being set off against each other, where now they're setting these new rules that you have to follow. You don't follow them by a T. You're not putting a woman on your as a VP. No, God, my goodness, it's over for you. You can't even have a voice, which is absolutely ridiculous. You got something to say. I see you smiling over there, Jason.
Well, Luke, you just mentioned so many things. I just want to say this. No matter how hard the establishment tries to force feed us these guys, because we just watched there was Hickenlooper, the Secret Service guys trying to scoot in front. He doesn't want you to talk. But Hickenlooper, he's a politician. He smiles at you a bit. He's going to answer a question or two. Remember when they tried to run John Edwards?
His response was priceless. He was pretty much he almost like saw a ghost. He pooped the pants. It was like, tell us when you're running for president. Tell us what's going on. Literally didn't say anything. But of course, he's openly talking about bringing his mom. Like, come on. Sorry, go ahead, Jason.
I know. I want to play that too because that's so staged. Of course, he knew they were going to ask that question. Those questions are worked out between the campaign and CNN. That's been exposed many a time, just like Hillary Clinton was given the questions in advance to the debates. They do the same thing. By
Donna Brazile, who now works for Fox News, even though Donna Brazile was, disgracefully fired for those actions. Now she's, prominent figure on Fox News, which is interesting to say the least.
Let me tell you, that's a whole nother can of worms that we can surely open in another video. But I want to harken back to when John Edwards was at Bilderberg. And then they tried to sell us John Edwards as a presidential candidate, and then even as a vice presidential candidate.
Yeah, in the New York Times, it was even said that it was Henry Kissinger and other elites watching John Edwards debate at the Bilderberg meeting that solidified his position as the VP for, of course, John Kerry. That was the New York Times reporting on that. This is not conspiracy theories. This is something that needs to be brought up instead of this identity politics, sex, women, bullcrap distraction that, of course, isn't really about what they say it is. It's not about helping women. They don't care about the women that go against their agenda. They won't dare mention Cynthia McKinney. Very little coverage of Tulsi Gabbard compared to everyone else, and it's not a surprise at all. Sorry, Jason. Anything else you want to say, or do you want to close it off?
Well, I was thinking maybe we should just watch this video and seeing how cringeworthy and how staged it really is. I mean, this looks like two bad actors going off of one another. In a 1 to 10 scale, I give this like 6.5 in 11th grade drama class. But you tell me, folks. Let's play the clip. Come on, CNN.
We've been looking at your memoir, and you have a lot of interesting stories in that book. One of them is about the time you went to see an X-rated movie with your mother.
Oh, golly gosh. Oh, golly gosh.
You have the floor, sir.
Thank you so much for that question.
Anytime.
I thought it was better to write a book to let people really see who you were and the dumb things you did as well as the smart things.
And where is that on the spectrum?
On the dumb side.
Okay.
I was the youngest of 4, and as I said, my dad died right after I turned 8, and my mother and I had a pretty tempestuous relationship. She was just the most amazing person, and I went off to college, and for the first time, she was alone in the house, and I didn't realize how powerful that was till I got home at Thanksgiving, and I promised, I called a friend in Philadelphia, and these were I didn't know what an X movie was. We thought it was a little naughty, but we didn't think it was that bad. Again, you got to understand, I was 18 years old.
Well, just so dumb. I was just so naive. I just a regular guy at 18. I find a lot of this hard to believe, by the way. I would doubt that Hickenlooper's mother is still around. Maybe she is. I didn't go to the Wikipedia, guys. But can we really say that this story happened? So let's continue, because it gets even more ridiculous.
And so I came home, and my mother hated to cook. I mean, she was just a strong, powerful woman who got stuff done in her own right.
So again, now strong, powerful women, they don't cook, Luke. You see that? You see that little subversive? Oh, strong, powerful women, they don't cook. Listen, yeah. I love my mom. I think she's pretty strong in some respects. She cooked. Does that make her less of a person? She cooks today. Is she less of a woman? It's really weird that you notice they're throwing all these little social justice mores in there.
Yeah, he went out of his way to say that, like, okay, like, what's the correlation here? Like, it's sexist in itself just to say that. Let's go on.
And I got home and she'd had this huge dinner laid out. And I said, oh, I promised Jed that we would go to the movie theater and see this new movie. You want to come? And it's an X movie. I don't know. I was sure that she wouldn't say no. I made a mistake. And she said, I'd love to go, because she didn't want to be left alone in the house again.
It was a pretty famous movie, too.
So I took my mother to see Deep Throat.
Let me say this. I don't care who your mom is. This was the 70s. If you brought your fucking mother to an X-rated movie, she would leave. I'm pretty sure she, as soon as the sex scene started, would grab your arm, pretty much no matter who you were, and say, "Are you staying? Because I am not." Am I wrong, Luke?
I got no comment. I got nothing else to say on this. This is disturbing. Why is this the national discourse? Like, why? Like, we're doomed, Jason. The Democrats are doomed too. And they're going to keep this up, and they're not going to go anywhere. It's just a total distraction, total asinine dumbassness, the dumbassification of America, bringing us towards making Idiocracy the movie a freaking documentary. This is where we're at. That's my take on it. I want to close it off.
Sure, guys, we're doing 4 videos a day. We got a backup channel. We got a main channel. Please hit that subscribe button. Ring that bell. We need you to ring that notification bell so you know when we put these out. And please share this stuff on social media. But most importantly, get out there and be the change you want to see in the world.